Hi, my name is Bill Bookout. I'm the president and one of the founding members of the National Animal Supplement Council.
And I know what an ASC is, and I want you to tell our listeners and readers more about that. But before we get to that, talk to me about how and why you started this organization.
That's a good question. So my story is, I grew up in Wyoming, and all I ever wanted in my life was a bird dog. And so I find it's emotional for me because I relive it when I tell the story.
Yeah.
So all I ever wanted was a bird dog, and I finally got a black lab. His name was Lancelot, and he was a great dog. I finally graduated from college. I was in the medical device and drug business. I had a house and a yard. Got my dog, and he was the greatest dog, and he was so great I decided I needed another one. So I got Cinder, who was a female. Well, I heard that large dogs could have hip problems. And so, man, I made an appointment, 2 years old, took my dog to the vet. Lancelot was fine. He was an English lab, so he was stocky, heavy-bodied dog. Took Cinder in 4 months later, and she has bilateral hip dysplasia, and it's severe, right? So I say, what can I do with my dog? I want to help my dog. Nothing. So I don't do anything. Finally, she got to where when she was 7 years old, she could hardly walk. And so I took her in. I had 2 total hip replacements done. And it was a great procedure. I'm glad I did it. But that led me to a career change. I was in the medical device and drug business, and I accepted a position at the 3rd largest specialty companion animal referral center in the United States. So in the course of that experience, my dog Lancelot was diagnosed with cancer. So I work with leading oncologists. We do surgery. I did radiation therapy, and he's cured, right? But when he was 11 years old, the tumor came back, and I was given a 3-month prognosis with my own dog. So I'm looking for help at that point. So I meet Dr. Ihor Basco, who's a great friend, and a tremendous clinician, tremendous veterinarian.
Brilliant healer.
And he helped me with his products, and so my dog, through diet changes and supplements, lived 2.5 years good quality of life. And it wasn't long enough, but I was very thankful.
Of course.
Through that experience, we started a company. And so we started the company, Genesis Resources, and I was in the business, and I made some bad assumptions. I made the assumption that these products were regulated just like human dietary supplements. They're not. And so there were public announcements made in 2001 that a lot of these products were going to be removed from the marketplace. And so we founded NASC with 18 companies at that point in an attempt to try to engage the regulatory agencies, meaning FDA, Center for Veterinary Medicine, and the state regulatory agencies, to identify and implement a system of responsible conduct, because I didn't want to be viewed as selling snake oil.
Absolutely.
Right? And people don't know what products to pick. There's so many out there.
Yeah.
They pound the keyboard on the internet.
Yes.
They're educated by Dr. Google.
Yep.
And we didn't want to leave that to chance.
Yep.
And I didn't want to be viewed in that category, right? And so the National Animal Supplement Council, over the last 13 years, we have good manufacturing practice standards. We have a database with over 100 billion bytes of data. We track 2,131 ingredients, over 7,000 products real time. We have labeling claims that are truthful, and nobody's out there curing everything from parvo to cancer.
Yep.
We have an on-site audit program similar to an FDA audit, where we conduct an on-site inspection to verify these things have been implemented.
Yep. The
requirements for continuing education, so that when veterinarians or pet owners or horse owners see products with this NASC seal, that means that we've checked them out quality-wise. We have independent product testing, so we buy products from the marketplace. We test to make sure they meet label claim. And so that's a little bit about my story and how I got into the business.
And really, it's what you're doing is I don't want to say forcing transparency, but for companies that are interested in and proud of the products that they have. So Mercola's products, we're very proud. We want to be transparent, but it also, if we're telling you, hey, we've got great products that are human grade, it doesn't really count. The great thing about what your independent organization doing is you're basically offering a transparency program.
That's right.
And you also are doing the validation to make sure that what we say is in the product's really in the product. And I think that's so important, because you and I both know, we've been in this industry long enough, that there are a ton of products out there. Not only are there too many to pick from, regardless of how pretty the label is, the quality of those ingredients may not be what you think they are.
That's right.
Especially with animal products, with animal supplements.
That's right.
Feed grade and food grade. Many people don't know the difference, but there could be huge quality issues. And really, your organization strives to demonstrate that there's a independent system that will validate quality, and I think that's really important.
Yep.
How many companies are members of NASC?
135 companies.
Okay.
We represent about 90% of the industry.
Okay.
We're the leading trade association, certainly in North America, probably the world.
Yes.
We're very narrowly focused, so we only do supplements that are similar to human dietary supplements for dogs, cats, and horses. And one of the new programs that we've introduced is we try to have total supply chain management. So we have a preferred supplier program. And it seems intuitive, right? You have to start with a quality raw material or a quality ingredient of known potency, purity, and concentration to formulate the products properly, and then put that together by a system that's repeatable, and that's called process control. And that allows you to have a consistent outcome. And that seems simple, but you really have a written policy procedure, so you do the same thing the same way every time, starting with raw materials exactly. If you don't start with quality raw materials, you're not going to have a quality outcome. So we have a complete program, and the other thing that we've done is we have engaged the regulatory agencies, meaning FDA and state regulatory agencies, and been totally transparent.
Great.
And in fact, FDA, I just came from FDA, and we meet with them every 6 months. They come to our annual meeting. So everything that we have done or plan to do, we run by FDA, and we work very constructively. And I have a very, very good opinion of FDA and a good relationship.
Yeah, it's great.
With the Food and Drug Administration.
So do you have supplement companies that that come to you and quite honestly fail, and then you work with them to get them up to standards?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. I'm not to say that everything we've done in our organization and our systems and processes are perfect, because they're not. Let me give you an example. No system, no matter how rigorously defined, is perfect, right? If it were, everybody would agree that the drug approval process is pretty rigorous, right? Yet we have drug recall.
Terrible.
Or we have device recalls. That's because, people can make mistakes, or the things that we know tomorrow that we don't know today. So we have a responsible system that gives a high degree of confidence, but what we really do is engage in a process of continuous improvement. So as we know more things and identify more things, we are continuously improving what we do.
Yeah, well, and really for me, what you're providing to the industry is a seal, really kind of a stamp of purity and transparency that you can trust those supplements. They've been through a voluntary process that is allowing them to be documented and verified, and that should put, for people that say, I'm nervous about animal supplements, I only use human supplements, it's your organization that actually allows people to feel comfortable feeding animal supplements, because the standards at which your organization has set are high enough that we can all feel confident using supplements that have been approved by NASC.
And the industry has really voluntarily embraced this program, because if we are not proactive, then we are destined to be reactive, because then the government will dictate it to us. And those might not be the best things for the industry. It might be standards that aren't the best, or the veterinarians. So I'd like to also say, some people think, how do you join NASC? It's in our bylaws that you have to have a direct interview with me for a company to join. So I ask them about their products. I try to ask about the quality philosophy of the company, make sure they're willing to adhere to our standards, because they sign a written contract. There's a code of conduct document that they have to sign. So they can't just join NASC. We don't just take their money and everybody joins.
And everyone slapped a label on. Yeah, it isn't that easy. And I can attest to that. You have incredibly rigorous standards, and we appreciate you for that.
And you can't buy the seal. You have to go through, even once you join, you have to go through an on-site audit process and demonstrate that you have implemented these programs in your company in order to be able to display the seal and pass the audit. And, and that's required every 2 years.
And it's wonderful. So you're really holding the animal supplement industry to a very high standard, which I appreciate. And I appreciate that you set it up. I appreciate that it came out of your desire to improve the industry, and I certainly appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for spending a few minutes.
You're very welcome. Together, and I'm not certainly worthy of total credit, together, I think in summary, we've made a tremendous difference together, along with clinicians and the companies, in making a difference in the lives of millions of animals in the United States and worldwide.
Yeah, you have.
Thank you.
Thank you.